Hey, Decathlon Gamer, welcome back to PCM22. It's career mode, and this is episode 17. Our second objective of the year is our second small objective. Good warm ups because our next one is a major objective for the year. Now, the first warm up went fairly well. We succeeded, but we didn't get the win, even though we won the sprint because there was a breakaway that claimed it. So, part of the objective today is to make sure there is no breakaway to get away, but also totally different circumstances. It might only be a half-star objective, but we are surrounded by some of the best options in the world. Wide range of World Tour teams at this race, and some big time riders at this one. David Gaudu is the favorite. He's 80s for his Mountain Hill ratings. Mark Hershey is here. Richard Carapaz is here. And there is probably 10 mega names, all very, very capable of getting a win today. However, I do have a quality team. Kevin Vermark is here. I do have a good punchers team with plenty of options. So we'll see what we can do with this one. We'll look at what our options are as we get into the later stages. Damiano Caruso was one of those guys. As we're seeing this attack now, I'm going to let the other teams respond. We are very much the underdog in a race like this one, and it is not up to us to do the chasing. Five riders going clear. Here's an idea of who is here. Gaudu, Conchi, Carapaz, Hershey, Landa, Rodriguez, Soler, Ineos themselves have more than enough to claim the entire top five. Padun, Moss, Castroviejo. Don't be confused by Quintana, that's Dyer Quintana. Bilbao, Caruso. And that's just a handful of teams. There are certainly more riders than that do pose a real threat. Now, the five that got away: Ferron, Castroviejo, definitely a couple quality riders, Frele as well. So 3 quality riders, and there's 10 in the break. So that is a little on the excessive side. That is a little bit threatening, but Ineos, they seem to have this thing in control still. Carapaz working at the front. Shocking, but okay. Sure, we're not dropping back too far. We're doing fine, except for Coop with the puncture. At least it's Coop, as he is our weakest rider on the day, mostly because of his -4 race day condition. Hagens, you can't see it because of the I'm sick icon, but Hagens is a +3, so he really lucked out on his draw. He easily could have had a -1 today. As a team, we are +4 overall, so we did get a decent draw out of the day. Arrieta, our 4th option, looks good. He's a 76, 77. I've had 2 riders level up. We're still in January. I've had 2 riders level up since the start of the year. Arrieta, one of them. I think I've had a 3rd. I want to say that Vermark has leveled up as well. His base is now 73, 78, which I do believe he was something like a 72, 76 or 72, 75 when we started, 71, 75. So he leveled up in the last week of July, last season, right before we signed him at the beginning of August, and he's already leveled up again in January. So Vermark is looking to potentially be the same rider he was for me a couple seasons ago, as in Pro Cycling Manager 2020, where Kevin Vermark was our lead puncher for quite some time, or one of our lead punchers anyway, and did have a number of marquee wins like Strada Bianchi. Okay, Coop lost contact there momentarily and is losing more ground as he reverted to his 70 base. Fortunately, he was not dropped here because we still want him to support Huggins. Alright, Bin Faisal and Coop are obviously tired as we are through the second sequence of climbs. We get a little bit of recovery here, and then we are still 16 riders off the front, and with still a sizable gap. Those 6 have nearly caught the front group, and they are threatening. I mean, it's 2 minutes and 40 seconds. We very well could be on the losing end as Coop has lost contact. The Cofidis riders losing ground. That's not Cofidis, is it? It's not. It just looks a lot like their jersey. I'm okay with Coop off the back, especially with 78 other guys beside him losing contact. I like having a smaller Peloton like this. And it's time as we enter the third sequence of climbs. It's definitely time to start preparing for the late stages of this one by upping that effort a little bit. In fact, I think we're going to have to push even harder. 81 from here on out. Not as much undulation the rest of the way. Finishing climb, of course, is an obvious one there. But I'm not so sure. I am not so sure about this gap right now. Front group has come together, and there is that real risk now. 2:24. Gap is coming down quickly, though. Ineos seems to have woken up to the fact that there is a sizable advantage and a lot of ground to cover. They've pulled back 20 seconds already just on that hill. And that back group not regaining contact, getting further behind. Another sign of the intent to make a race of this, but I am not so sure. Front group attacking each other, hopefully. Or is that just a false? Two guys on the descent, maybe gaining a momentary advantage. 38k to go. And I do need water one last time, I think. It's definitely not Ben Faisal. He is toast. Speaking of, let's go ahead and get him. I think it's got to be Arietta. Small group, so he should get this fairly quickly. Don't get dropped. Don't get dropped. There you go. That was close. That group got dropped right as he regained positioning. Down to 48. The group is thinning as we go through this climb. Front group also splitting up as Arietta trying to get back in position. And we'll start thinking about our end game tactics as Arietta finishes this off. Gaps at 2:13 as the front group attacked and split itself off. But the good news about that is it's bringing riders back to us, as we've already picked up a few of those guys. Pick up a fourth guy now. So we're picking them up quite quickly. A couple riders momentarily regaining contact with us as we descend. Now 25k to go, and again up the effort. Mark definitely the leader on the day. Vashek working to recover a little bit here, but we're going to gel up for him as we're about to climb again. .47 chasing. There's 4 and 8. We caught 2 of them. So now it's down to 12 riders off the front. But this is really the last serious undulation before the final climb, which means catching those guys is going to get a lot harder. They've split off 1 more rider, so now it's 7 at the front. And we've pulled back half a minute is all. They split off another rider. That's the only good thing for us, is the more they split off, the more it sets it up that we can catch a lot of those guys. Ben Faisal, Coop, sorry. I left you alone back here, not that it matters. Vashek going to be dropped soon, but I do have 4 guys for that final setup, and we're down to 29 in the Peloton, so that part's good. And 1 rider has left the other 5 behind. That gives us an even better chance. Maybe we're riding for second, but at least with that group getting all split up like that, it increases our odds of catching them. Ineos seems confident that they've got this thing in check. 14.5k to go. 11k to go. Hanging on just a little bit longer, except we really need to keep position here. Position's going to matter quite a bit for the next little. Everybody's looking good other than Vashek. Arietta, a little more tired. Hagens, a little more tired. Bogley's still looking pretty good. Now 9k to go, and there's 5 of those riders. And I think 9k is close enough to set this up. Also, let's see what is our final run-in looking like. So we have this little hill here. We have a false flat, and then we have the final climb, 2.5K, 8% steep at the top. Now, I was thinking about trying to attack with somebody, but there's a couple things going on here. One, the other teams are pretty strong. It does change circumstances, and we might still do something with this. But two, I'm down to 4 guys. So I only have 2 to 3 lead out riders at this stage. That does change it. If we had a full team, full complement, I think it would be perfect to take Hoggins and attack early. Maybe attack over that false flat and use the descent to, open up a little gap, and then just try to maintain whatever your speed is. But 2.5K is going to be hard to do that. Very hard to do that. Arietta might do the best trying to pull something like that because he's got the better mountain rating. But I don't think we are strong enough to beat the other teams, so we need to maximize our hopes and dreams. Is Huggins the one I want to go with next? No. You know what? Bogley is a little bit stronger today. Vashek's already done, so we are on to Arietta right now. 8.8K. Coming forward. We don't want to take over. We just want to get into position here. So Arietta, not pushing too hard. We want to set this up before that final climb. And we want to... Hoggins out of position a little bit here. Arietta, ready to speed up. Bogley blocked off Hoggins. And we've caught all but that last rider. So yes, it is back together. Relying on the other teams has worked out in our favor. 5K to go. Gel up for Bogley. And now we get into that prime position. Kron, the last guy left. Decent rider. Decent, but that's all. So, Ineos knew what they were doing. 30 riders left. Vashek dropped. And Arietta on the descent, pushing. We don't want anybody recovering. Final gel for Mark. 20 seconds to that front guy. He'll be caught very, very quickly on the ascent. Arietta done. On to Hoggins. 1.9. He is quite punchy. I want to go 97. 1.7. You can see we're going deep. We're going deep. And there's other guys that are faster. There's other guys that are faster than us. Okay. On to Bogley. 900 meters. Oh, Bogley gets blocked off by the EF rider. 500 meters. He's going to come through, and Vermark has a chance. I think we got a top 5 here. We have got a top 5. Can Vermark contend? Can he contend? He's at a red bar, but he is out front barely. Carapaz is going to outpace him, but it's a podium. It's going to be a podium. I'll take it. I'll take it. Second place. Carapaz takes a win. Vermark, second place. Nearly had enough. Nearly. Not quite. Bogley gets 4th as well. So great lead out. Good setup. That was what we needed. And, you can see from that final bit, Vermark ran out just before the finish line. We could have used, and we had to back off to that, 96, 97 there for a moment with Arietta. Not attacking with one of the other guys was necessary under the circumstances. Had we attacked with them, we definitely don't have enough firepower to do what we did. Good result. Great result. Big time race. Big time tactics coming into play today. This is our second biggest sponsor objective of the year, and there are 2 much bigger than all the rest. The objective for this one is a top 5 overall in this 5-stage race. There are 3 key stages, but really there's 2 key stages that are going to matter above all else. Stage 5, time trial. Not our strength. Very much our weakness. But I have 5 riders that can decently climb, and are decent time trialists, meaning I have 5 potential leaders for this race. From there, the other 2 stages, both considered punchy. Now, stage 4 is properly just a final punchy climb. That's pretty easy to set up one rider and make sure they don't lose time compared to everybody else. Not the hardest stage to pull off. This stage, though, it's challenging. There is a lot of undulation on the way, meaning it's almost a climber stage, more so than it is a puncher stage. Time gaps are much more likely to be sizable on a day like this. You can absolutely be ruled out of contention completely on a day like this, and you can just about get yourself into position for a top 10 in the overall on a day like this. And there's some big time teams with some pretty big riders at this race, meaning we are going to have our hands full to try to complete this objective. So what I've done tactically is I have those 5 guys that are decent at time trial. It's up to those 5 to be in position. So what I decided was I don't know ahead of time what race day conditions going to be like for day 5. But I do know that I can prepare myself a little bit ahead of time. First off, the entire field, all 7 guys here, have the objective for this race. The unfortunate thing for me is that the fitness peak has not started for any one of them, but our expected plus 14 race day condition for this has resulted in a net plus 15. So we've got a net plus 1 overall compared to what the expected was. So the draw has been right on par with, or just about right on par with what it should be. The one guy who missed out, Bogley. He was, I think, the weakest of the 5, or 4th of the 5 anyway, when it came to time trialing. So the 2 guys, regardless of how good they are climbers, that don't time trial, were guaranteed to be domestiques today in stage 4. Because we need to ride for those time trialists, because we need to maintain whatever position we're able to achieve. So no matter how good they are today, we can't have them losing minutes on the final stage and then drop out of the top 10 or drop out of the top 5. We need somebody to be there. So Bogley and the other 2 domestiques are the weaker time trialists. For Mark, you can see he's a 65, 67, and even though he's got a plus 4 today and looks really good today, he is a domestique because we're worried about the overall. Bon's the same situation. He's a terrible time trialist, just a 61. So even though he can climb, he too is playing the role of domestique today. So that means with Bogley now, because of race day condition, being the other man, here's the 4 riders we are going to ride for. Arietta. He is the other weakest time trialist. He's that number 5 guy on the list. You can see he's a little too weak. Great climber, though. Great climber. He's still potentially in contention, but I think we're gonna end up sacrificing him to support the other 3. And that's why they are the protected 3. Frigo is the first of those. 70-70. Hopefully with that plus 2, plus 3 on the day. One of these guys I'd really like to protect, not just one rider, because day 5 or day 4, something could go wrong. They might not have the race day condition, so I would love to see 3 riders still in contention, but we'll see how this stage shapes up in the later kilometers. We're at 37k to go, and we're about to start climbing, which is why I've paused here. Gonzalez, the other one, 70 time trialists, so same, and both capable climbers. Frigo, though, more punchy. I think Gonzalez is going to be a little bit better off, most likely. And then Hoggins, he's got the punchiness for stage 4, and he's a little bit better of a time trialist. But you can see overall as a team, I mean, that's it. A 72 is all we can muster in the time trial. We are in trouble later on. Arietta wouldn't be a terrible option. I mean, today he can absolutely climb. But time trialing wise, no matter what we do, we're down. But 5 points down on Hoggins. So Hoggins is going to probably hang on the back try to survive. He's going to probably try to be led out by a Gonzalez, and then maybe we're sacrificing Frigo, but then we could have two guys still in contention with Gonzalez and Huggins, or maybe we can get Frigo still in contention. But these strong climbers are going to hopefully get us, 4 or 5 guys up to the top in or around near that top 10 to still be in contention. Okay, let's get to it. Difficult task on this one, especially with the strength of the field. Plenty of quality World Tour teams and riders in this one. Okay, 5 riders off the front, and they have nearly been caught, meaning it's all happening here. 1 rider off the back is all, and that is due to a crash. Front group already attacking itself. For now, we stay at that 74 for this first climb, as nobody's pushing yet. This is good. It's actually allowing that front group to open the gap quite a bit. Okay, now we see an acceleration.
The breakaway is not to everybody's liking. The Peloton has significantly increased its speed.
Over the first one. No energy wasted yet. Let's go ahead and speed up, because this next one is definitely going to be steeper, and this is where the action is set to begin. In fact, let's go ahead and push 80. We're going to have to speed up a little bit more earlier than I thought, otherwise we are going to get left behind. We'll go 84 for now. Bogley, the only guy, no, Arrieta and Gonzalez are up there too, but 4 guys falling backward pretty quick here is not a good thing. We gotta help these guys in the back. They're gonna have to push a little bit harder. Huggins is the other one. Gonna have to push a little bit harder. These guys just are not the greatest climbers. I have to use just a little bit of that hill rating, which means using more energy, which means there's going to be later on they're going to have less left in the tank. And then that's one of my front guys going down. Arrieta, Jumbo Visma rider, bringing him down, or he brought them down. I don't know which order, but the 2 guys have crashed. And there goes Arrieta. He's out of contention. He's not getting back up and getting back in this thing. Not from this far back. At least he's back on the bike and can support us in stage 4. Trying to go forward. It's the only way for him. He's going to have to push pretty hard. These guys are going to have to push harder now. Oh, there's Frigo as well. Nobody's doing terribly well for us at the moment. 162 riders, no breakaway any longer. Gonzalez up to the 85. Is our hopes and dreams now all lying on the shoulders of Abner Gonzalez? Could be. Yo-yoing of the field. Gonzalez still in a strong position. Peloton of just 60. Bogley. Gel. Get back to protecting. Everybody else is way too far back. Their chances of being back in this thing are slim. Where is Arrieta? Arrieta has made his way back up into here. I think we are going to have to control these 5 for a little bit. It's a small group anyway. That's 5 riders out of 54. And that's most of our hopes and dreams, other than Gonzalez trying to hang on. I do think we need to try to do something here in these last 2 climbs to try to get back into this. So, especially with how strong the 5 are looking. Arrieta has already used up the most, so we're going to use him first. And let's go with, well, Bano. Use the domestiques. Use the domestiques. Bano, Vermark, and then Arrieta. And then try to pull along Frigo and Huggins as best we can and shield them as best we can. But no. All right. We'll focus on this group. We'll check on Gonzalez as frequently as we can. Gonzalez using those climbing legs to keep himself in position. And Arrieta has crashed again.
Apparently, the leader is on the ground.
Totally on his own. A second crash from Arrieta. Will he get back up from this one? He's back up. He's on the bike, and he rides on, and he is now way, way too far behind. We'll put him on auto. Okay, Huggins lost a little ground on these guys with that fall, but we picked up on it very quickly. And there's Bogley already going backwards. He is not going to provide any useful support. And Gonzalez in a group of 47, 48 at the front. These guys are awfully far behind. Okay, Beno, push harder to try to make up some ground. Auto riders going backwards. Green jersey, there's Lipens. Huggins cannot keep up with this tempo. He has not got the legs. He's going to be going backwards. That means we are now trying to bridge this gap. By the way, we have not pulled that many riders back, but we have really made some progress. Bano trying to get us back up there to support Gonzalez, who is riding solo, and these guys get over the climb. Hindley on the attack. Gonzalez is hanging on okay. Down to 27 plus 1. These guys not as far behind any longer. Frigo might yet bridge this gap, and he does. Huggins will not. Huggins is out. 3 guys here. And they've almost bridged the gap. They have almost bridged this gap. But what will they have left? I'm going to go with not much. Front 3. Gonzalez. Lost contact there for a moment. Recovers his position. A back 6 just regained contact as well. So that's 27 chasing 1. And look who has bridged the gap with 7K to go. Can they be of support for Gonzalez? Because overall, there's not much left for these 3. And again, again, they have failed to bridge the gap as well. Looky what we have here. Vermark. Really having to ease off now as we are on the final climb and near the top. 7 chasing 17. Let's change this up. Okay, Frigo, you're going to try to hang on. Pause. And protect Frigo. Frigo has a little something left. Vermark is the rider riding support. And it's 16 at the front, and Gonzalez is doing just fine with 4K to go. Gel up, we ride with him, and we hope that Frigo and Vermark can hang on decently well. Pull it down to 12, by the way, down to 12. We will take control of those guys in a little bit. Focusing now on Gonzalez, trying to get to the top, down to 10. And 2 riders dropped that were contenders. Almeida, the favorite, has been dropped. Scoins also off the back. Sobrero, really strong guys. Martinez, the other favorite, is here though. Hindley, Sivikov, Hagita, Mater, the entire group. Look how strong this entire group is, and the guys that they have succeeded in dropping. Gonzalez doing a fantastic job, thanks to that race day condition largely, but we don't know if he'll be able to replicate that on stages 4 and 5, which is why I wanted more than one guy. But Frigo and Vermark, not done yet, but in terms of contention, you're really looking at 10 guys left, and Gonzalez is, as we're about to see an attack here, getting to be in a little bit of trouble. Follow Adria, please. As I see this group about to split. Will it be down to 5? Please, oh please. Down to 6! Down to 6 with 2K to go. Gonzalez, please do not follow anymore. Ease off, ease off. Down to 5! Down to 5. Sivikov, Mater, Hamilton, Adria, and Abner Gonzalez with 1.9K to go. He is active on the gel. He is active on the gel. Please follow Adria now. Follow Adria because it's about to be 3. It's about to be 3. It's about to be Sivikov going clear with 1.4K, but Gonzalez hanging on to the wheel of Adria has a chance at second place in this stage and really, really setting us up nicely for the final run in. And there's that push. Now we respond. We're following. We are following. We are following. Now we're aiming for the finish line and second place on the stage. Okay. Yes, what a run in. Abner Gonzalez. Fantastic run, my boy. Okay, these two really struggling here late on, pushing for a top 10. 800 meters to go. Vermark doing what he can to support Frigo across the line here and give us a decent finish. So we have a backup, but it's not going to matter because Gonzalez is absolutely the man right now. Nothing much we can do here. Just sprint it out, please. Come on, Frigo. Just outside of the top 10. 17 and 18, or 17 and 20. Same time, though, Vermark helped save about 1 second there with that final push. It's absolutely the Abner Gonzalez show, though. What a ride. Oh, that is the first time in this series that we have had a proper climb. Success. Sivikov, I mean, come on. With the riders surrounding us, Gonzalez just getting into the top 10 was going to be an achievement. Did we win the stage? No. Did it feel like a win? Oh, hell yeah. What a ride. All right, we still have stage 4 and that punchy. We obviously will be riding for Gonzalez in that stage. And then stage 5, the time trial. Gonzalez was our second strongest time trialist. So for us, that gives him a chance. However, he is not a good time trialist. He looks to lose some time on that day. Here is the time gaps. 11 seconds behind Sivikov. That is not what is important. We are not going to beat Sivikov. Sivikov, not much of a time trialist either. With great race day condition, hey, you never know. But it's more about what's behind us. Adria, not a very good time trialist either, helping our chances. Hamilton, Mater, none of them. Hagita is a minute and a half down overall, 73. Hindley, 70. Suter, Tollett is your first quality one. Martinez is not much of a time trialist either. Almeida, there's a guy really to watch out for, but he is 2:23 down. He is more than 2 minutes behind us, adding 6-second time bonus for us on top of that one, and we are even further ahead, giving us that much better of a shot to hang on to a very good position in the overall, because fortunately, most of this top 10, most of this top 15 are not good time trialists. Almeida is the last guy who's any sort of range, as we're looking at 3:07 behind. So basically 3-minute advantage for Gonzalez over all of these guys. He looks guaranteed to hang on to a top 10 at the minimum, if we can get through stage 4 without losing time, that is. And not too many of these guys are going to be able to overtake him. And the one really good time trialist in the top 12, Almeida, ended up losing a ton of time today. Look how strong he is. 78, 78, 77. And we just beat him with Abner Gonzalez, a 76, 75, 70 guy. Not a huge discrepancy, but with a 73, 72 stamina resistance compared to Almeida's 80, 77, we are talking about a massive gap between those riders. Okay, not massive. Considerable. Solid gap. Heavy favorite. Sivikov, likewise, is definitely quality rider. And Gonzalez is good. He's good. But he's not on the level of these guys around him. He's done a really good ride here. The race day condition especially helping. And not crashing twice like his teammate. But we're going to need something similar in stages 4 and 5 for him to hang on to maybe a podium. That is going to do it for this episode, though. Tune in next time as we take on stages 4 and 5 and whatever races follow that one. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.